Today is 16th of February. I wish everybody a happy Lunar New Year. Market opened with a gap and managed to bash through the significant resistance at 3,200, closed at its high, up 45 point at 3,221. Over the last three sessions, we see extremely strong move, so it indicates that actually fund flowing, in particular the banks. The immediate resistance is actually at this level here, at about 3,260. We have another significant resistance here, which is at 3,280. Our immediate support is actually at this level, which was taken out today, 3,200. The most significant support is actually at 3,160. But by and large, looking at the moving averages, there's no trend characteristics, but there's strong momentum built in this 3 bar. So during the pullback, we'd like to look for setup and to go long. Let's turn our attention to the US markets. This is S&P 500s. Notice after breaking this high, it actually moved up, follow through very nicely. Now here we have indication of selling. Now if you take a look at the daily chart itself, after the gap down, there was actually an attempt to close this gap. Now usually with the price action like this, it may actually trade sideways. On the weekly chart, it does show that actually the volume is actually low. This is not a healthy move. Now this is Nasdaq. Again, we have similar patterns, very nice run-ups after this pullback, and very obvious at the resistance level, we do see some reactions. So again, if you can trade sideways, build a base, we'd like to see eventually take out this high here, which is at about 16,212. On the daily chart again, you can see there was this attempt to close this gap, and you may actually trade sideways. So it's important to observe for the next few sessions. Now the other indicators that actually affect the markets is the 10-year Treasury yield. If you notice, actually we have very directional downward move, managed to actually find a support. In fact, there was a test of this support before it bounced off, and at the resistance level there was a temporary pause here, and finally actually broke out. Recently we see a pullback here, and it's very standard classic pullback, appending to actually test the previous resistance, which now provides some kind of support. Now it may actually follow through and continue to move up, so this is something to actually watch. Now if it strengthens further, it's generally negative for the equity market, but we do see very strong showing in the US market. REITs will be actually particularly affected with high yield. So this is the weekly charts. Again, you notice very directional downward move, very big wide range bar, bear bar, and here we have a bounce, and it is in this trailing range before it was taken out, but at this point in time it is this crow off high. So again, it may actually trade sideways or even move up slightly, but I see there is a lot of overhead resistance, so it may subsequently actually pull back. So if you actually pull back correct, that will be generally healthy for the equity market. So this level is important at 420, whether you can hold or not. Let's take a look at some of the stock we'll be discussing. This is Ford Empire. Stock consolidated for months before it actually broke out, and you notice very strong move, and at this point in time it's losing momentum. Pretty obvious because the closing of the daylight. Here we do have some kind of support because on 4 occasions it managed to reject this level here. So this is something it's important to watch. If you can continue to trade sideways, is alright. At this point in time, we do see a contraction setup. This high here is at 144. Now I'll prefer if the bar gets smaller, that will be generally healthier. Keppel Corp. Very nice breakout yesterday. Today followed by inside bar on a lower volume. This is a rabbit head setup. Bar high here is 738. So it's good that actually this is taken out. This provides a very important support. Samcorp. The price actions are less predictable than before. If you take a look, we have deep retracements, rarely in deep retracement. Today, actually trade a small body rejecting the high, so just indicate that there's some resistance here. I'd like to actually see what happens, whether you can take out this high here or not at 584. Now, if the stock itself can actually trade sideways on low volume, that will be a clear indications. Otherwise, it may end up with this type of retracements, which you'll be better off if you actually lock in some profit. SIA. Over here we have a small dipper setup, and it broke up quite convincingly on increased volume, followed through very nicely. Today we make a new recent high, look for pullback here, look for setups to go long. Now this line here which I draw is a high volume support. It's important that you hold there. So this is the high volume probably created by this bar. It's important that you hold above this level. This is about 714. Genting Singapore. I mentioned in the previous videos, the stock is actually stuck over here, and there's very obvious resistance at 103. It was taken out yesterday, and today we see a inside bar. I'd like to see it eventually take out this high here of 105. Just be mindful there is overhead resistance here. Again, we can look for the high volume level and watch. Comfort Delgro. I mentioned that this stock is probably better to view it on the weekly charts. So this is what happened. Managed to bash through this resistance, and over here we have a big dipper setup. 2 bar high is at 142.